Greetings, esteemed action figure collectors and appreciators of posable plastic. It's your brother King Ape back again with another action figure discussion, and today we will be taking a look at Disney Gargoyles Ultimates Lexington. This is the last figure of the core group of the Rookery brothers of the Gargoyle clan that we see on the animated series. So he is the youngest and kind of the tech savvy member of the group. He is really connected to the modern world, and that's why he's so good with a lot of the technology that exists in that timeline, which the series aired around 1995, 96. So a lot of the technology at that time, computers and phones and what have you. He, any type of radio hardware, he's pretty well versed in it. So first things first, we'll take a look at the packaging. As always, very nice artwork on the front of these Gargoyle Ultimates boxes. Neca always does a good job with their artwork. You can see some details here on the front. If I can, give me a sec, kind of right here, you can see these infrared beams pointed at Lexington. He's being targeted. And if you notice in the background, this is the old bell tower that's above the police station. Originally when the show first came on, they were at the castle, the Scottish castle that sat on top of David Xanatos's building. But eventually they moved on and settled in here. Elisa Maza was a big part of how they were able to find a new place to reside. So just figured I'd tell you guys about that real quick. Here's the side of the box. Has an image of Lexington. Here's the back. And one thing I want to point out here is, I was looking for little Easter eggs on the box, and I'll come back to the back. Let's open this up. Nice window display of Lexington there and his plastic solitude. Here's another image of him on top of the building or an old church, and his eyes are whited out. At the bottom here, of course, are the wonderful people who were involved in creating this figure and the box art. Here's the barcode if you want to pick him up. I got him from Nerdzoic Toys online store. If you want to get him, I don't know if he's still there, but I wanted to show you guys a quick little Easter egg. This is the only one that I located on here, so I don't have my trusty pointer, so I'll use let me see here, let me find something. Well, anyway, I'll just use my finger. If you look right here, you'll notice Broadway has on a trench coat and a fedora. So if you're familiar with the animated series, you know that there's an episode on season 2 entitled The Silver Falcon. That's the episode where he dons this trench coat and this fedora, trying to basically imitate the character from I believe this TV series is called the Silver Falcon. And he wears that on that episode, running around with Elisa Maza. They're investigating, a caper, so to speak. But you guys, check it out. I don't want to spoil it for you. I believe the antagonist on that episode is Dre Khan. He's one of the local, he runs illegal weapons and a bunch of illegal activity on the show. He's always kind of popping up, him and his goons. He's got a guy on there named Glasses and some other, henchmen. So check that episode out when you get a chance. Okay, let's get him out of this. Unlike with Lexington, He didn't come with another set of wings. His wings are a little bit different than his rookery brother. There he is right there. Well, there's everything coming out. So we'll just pop all of that out. And we'll take a look at the accessories. I'll put them up here. Let me see if I can get them to, well, first thing we'll do is we'll attach the tail. You guys already know the drill. All the tails are bendy, posable on these figures. You know, Neca has done a good job with providing that for the gargoyles. This one's a little smaller, so really take care when you're popping it in, so you don't want to break that connecting peg for the up and down hinge. But there it is, and went in relatively smoothly. And we'll just prop him up right here. And let me just adjust the camera a little bit. We'll do a little spin while we take a look at the accessories. And I hope everybody's doing well as usual. I appreciate you guys pulling up. I know it's been a minute since I've put up a video, but work and other things, life. But here we are. He comes with a headset and there you go. Pretty nice. Has the mic connected to it. He comes with the remote control with the antenna, with the two little toggle switches. Has some nice little subtle paint detail. Really good. They did a really good job in sculpting it. Very simplistic but detailed. Has kind of the animated influence to it. Crossbow is done very well. I mean, look at that sculpting there on the stock. I mean, that looks like wood. They did a good job. And there may be a light wash on there to bring out the grain details. And even the part that represents iron is done very well. Very detailed with the sculpting and the paint and that wash. Gives it a very good sense of realism. I like that. They've executed that very well, in my opinion. And then I'll just put these all together. I think they're pretty much the same. These are the arrows that come with said crossbow. So looks like he comes with 3 of them. If I can get them all to stay in these pinchers of these tweezers, because I like to just show off everything that the figure comes with. So you guys bear with me here. You know what? Let me do them upside down. I like to just kind of do things on the fly. And just be careful to keep track of everything that these figures come with, because it can be easily lost. So there they are. I mean, they have, a good little amount of paint to be such small accessories, which I can appreciate that. They have some good paint detail on the tips of the arrows. Yeah. So that's those. He comes with a different head portrait, the more aggressive, Eyes going white. Attack mode head. I'm raged out. He comes with 2 additional fists with good detail right there. Right and left fist. And he comes with another set of hands. The right hand, pointy finger. The left hand is kind of a gesturing hand. That has an up and down hinge. The left hand, up and down hinge. The right pointy finger hand has an up and down hinge as well. And on the fist, I can't remember. Oh, they're horizontal. So those are horizontal. Okay, now let's take a look at Lexington. Move that out of the way. Let's get a up close of Mr. Lexington here. Young gargoyle. Let you guys get a look at the head here. I'm trying to go a little faster on these videos, not have them too long, but I don't want to really miss any good points on the figure, and any background that needs to be mentioned on this, each figure. So, but here's the wings detail. His wings are attached to his forearms. Unlike the other Rookery brothers, theirs are attached to their back. Oh, his ab section is kind of twisted. Let me get that lined up. So yeah, more of the same that we've seen, just in a smaller scale, because Lexington is a smaller character. A lot of striation and musculature. Almost a little too much. I wish that Neca, and to be honest, had dialed that down a bit and gave us a little more smoother, rounded edges with not as much detail to kind of, echo the animated versions. But there's the feet, some detail at the bottom of his feet, the claws, everything. He's got some good paint right here. Some good paint on the belt buckle. Even though he's a much smaller figure, they managed to catch all of that. The tail is pretty simplistic, as you guys all know. All of their tails they don't have a lot of texture and detail, and they didn't on the cartoon, to be fair. So not a lot going on there. Let's see. Move his arms up so we can see underneath on the wing detail. So yeah, I really like this. There's some really good detail underneath. If you look right here, just the veins, and it's kind of a tannish with the light brown wash. I really like that, man. It really highlights the veins going through the wings underneath. And it's pretty clean where it attaches here underneath the forearm. Pretty, clean attachment there. I think they did a really good design they did a good job with how they engineered the wings to attach to them, because I was really wondering, were they going to make these where they were, I don't know. I didn't know how they were going to approach it. I didn't know if they were going to put a bendy wire in here. That's what I was trying to say, a bendy wire, kind of on the outer edge, so he could pose and flex. But it looks like they've just used the same material that they've used for the relaxed wings on the, that came with Bronx and Xanatos and Elisa Maza for the the one that came with Bronx went with Goliath, and the one that comes with Xanatos, I believe, goes with Demona, and Elisa Maza, the wings she comes with, they go with Brooklyn. So it's kind of like that same material. Here he is with the alternate head portrait, the more aggressive. He definitely had it out for the pack. More notably, I believe it was Fox. If I'm, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I know that he did not like the pack. He always went into rage mode whenever they got into any type of altercation with them or any interaction. And but that's how he looks with the alternate angry head. Fits on there well. Side profile. Just, I feel like they did a pretty good job with him. For his size, I just think he looks well. So range of movement, toes up and down. You get a little rocking motion there for the lower part of the foot. The upper part, not so much. Single joint at the knee. Aesthetically, they've sculpted it where you don't really see it from the front, so that looks good. That I like the fact that they just went with the double. I mean, with the single versus the double. I think it would have made it a lot busier, and it probably wouldn't have been as aesthetically pleasing. His legs can go out that far. That's how it looks underneath. It looks like Neca has started incorporating the new articulation here at the in the hip area, which I'm glad. I'm really glad they finally, Randy finally listened to us and said, "Hey, we got to change that." It was really bad on the Predator figures, I remember. So this is the lower waist moves. Not much in the way of going forward and back. Upper part of the torso turns like so. I wouldn't push it too much because it looks like the wings do peg in, which I just remembered to point that out. So they peg in here. So if they pop out, you just pop them back in like so. They have a hinge, so that kind of helps with articulating when you're moving the arms and stuff. So ab crunch cereal. Let's see. Can Lexington get ab crunch cereal? No. He doesn't get a good ab crunch forward at all. Even back is not a whole lot. So that's unfortunate. Get to the arms. He has articulation in the shoulders. And you just got to kind of work them out. I just took him right out the package. But he's moving pretty smooth. Nothing's really getting stuck by paint or like a piece of plastic that kind of needed to be trimmed away. So thankfully, everything is moving pretty well. He has bicep swivel, double hinge elbows. And on these hands, I already went over the other ones. These hinge looks like it's a horizontal hinge, but if you turn it, it can be hinged vertically. And that looks like that's for both. Yeah. So that's his range of motion. Real quick, if you come back here, I'm just gonna kind of open his arms up. Like I said, good detail on the back too. All the, musculature. I just think it's a bit much. I feel like it should have been smoother, smoother edges, a little less musculature to mimic the the animated look. But also, here's the back with the details on the wings. No, not really any wash here. Just a brown paint. Little claws back here. Detail. And even, they've done a good job with the tunic coming around where the tail sits, and they've sculpted and painted all of that. They didn't miss any details. That's what I appreciate about NECA. Even with the belt, just having that little end of it, how it kind of curls. I appreciate that. Instead of having it just flat, they could have went the lazy route and just sculpted it flat, but they put the little end of the belt there. And that's little touches like that are appreciated. So let's let's pop out this hand. The right hand pop in, like I said, has vertical trigger hand, and let's see if we can get this crossbow in. The hands are, very soft and pliable, so you shouldn't have any issues getting any of the accessories in. Let's see here. Boom. Okay. That's how that looks right there. If you want to have them just coming out, like that right there, that's how that's gonna look with the crossbow. I think that looks really good. And that's how he looks from the side. So that's nice. Looks like you just take the arrow and, I think you probably set it in like so. It's just, kind of replicate the arrow coming out of the, getting loaded in, and it would eject that way once it fired. So, like I said before, guys, be really mindful of, where you keep all of these accessories. If you have the space, I would just recommend you keep it in the box, keep it in the trays, because it could easily get lost. But this looks like it doesn't go all the way out, so you can kind of leave an arrow. It looks like it gets hung up right there. So you could probably leave an arrow in there and just kind of simulate it shooting out. So that's how he looks with that. Then we have the headset. And I don't know what episode he always has gadgets on. So it looks like it's designed to kind of sit like that right there. I mean, it sits on there really well. So that looks good. That looks good. And then as far as the remote, I don't know. I guess this hand would be more suited to holding it. It doesn't do a very good job though. But you would probably have to, let's see. Let's try this. We'll put this hand, and I'll take out the left hand, put in this other one, but it's only thing, it's a vertical. But I'm just trying to figure out the best way to show you guys him holding this remote control. It looks like it might work better with this hand because he's actually able to hold it. And you could kind of, oh no, well, that wing is going to pop out. But they didn't really, I wish they had included a hand that was, maybe shaped like that so it could, mimic him moving one of the joysticks. But unfortunately, we don't have a hand like that. So maybe you could, if you wanted to, you could use this hand. These two, use this hand combination. Let me see if I can get them to hold it again. And then you could kind of have them come over like this, maybe. And you have to really push the arms down. And I don't know, it would take some doing because this hinge is a vertical hinge. So, but you could probably just kind of simulate him coming over to doing it. I forgot to go over his head movement. So he looks up about that far, looks down about that far. Of course, he can look all the way around. So he has good head movement, I believe. He has good head movement, in my opinion. Only thing, looks like this one it's prone to popping out, but it isn't a deal breaker. All right, so now let's bring out the rest of his Rookery brothers, and we'll take a look at them together. Then I'll get you guys out of here. So first, we've got Bronx. Yeah, good old Bronx. And I'll put Big Brother Goliath in. Then we'll do Hudson. We need some relaxed wings for Hudson. Hopefully that's coming with some more figures as they release them on down the line. Then we'll do, let's see. We'll put Brooklyn here because he's a little bit smaller. He's like, hey, get me in the shot, baby. Then we got Broadway with his drumstick. So, you know what? Because he has the wings, we'll put Broadway right here. And we'll put Brooklyn right back there. And I think they all scale pretty well. These guys are pretty short on the show, and Hudson has a little bit of height, and Goliath, of course, is over 7 feet. But when I watch the show, to be fair, sometimes the height is kind of it's kind of all over the place. So, depending on who's animating that episode, it can kind of vary. But for the most part, I think this is a good representation of how tall they are on the show. And so last but not least, well, we can bring in Elisa as well. Let's bring in Elisa because, she's part of the clan. And Cagney, good old Cagney. Yeah, so that's them. That's all of them, and that's how. Also, we're getting a scaling at the same time. But this was the big part. I wanted to make sure I showed him with all of his Rookery brothers And at the same time, you guys can see how he scales, but also because, you know, they all kind of stand in a kind of a crotched position. Let's do a height for Lexington. So he's going to be about, let's see here. He's right at 5 inches. If you want, so that's for people who want to know his height. And let's do this. Let's do the, you know what I always like to do, the side view. I don't see a lot of channels doing that, so I'm kind of trying to be, you know, set apart. But that's the side view. Let's do the side view of some of these guys with him standing there in the front, so you can see how the scaling looks from the side. Okay, there's let me move him on up. There's Broadway, even Cagney right there. Hudson, I can't really get. Let's see here. Trying to get everybody in the shot here from the side. Not a lot of space. I don't have a lot of space, guys, so. But I appreciate all the new subscribers joining Ape Nation. I meant to tell you that. You know, if you guys are stopping through watching the video, go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, you know, and I'm going to be coming out with new content, uploading new vids for you guys to check out. So yeah, that's how everybody scales from that side. Here's Bronx. And so I will turn everybody back around. For the final thoughts. So the final thoughts is I'm very glad that we have finally, I'm glad that Neca has finally completed the core group of gargoyles from the show. These are the main guys right here. So we've gotten all of them. Now we can get into the other teams and get into the other gargoyle clans like Griff and all of those guys over from London. And I think Neca has the formula to kind of keep this going. And they've done enough tooling where they can kind of take other characters and build other characters from the tooling that already exists. So it can be done. It's just a matter of them doing it. Oh, and here's Thaylog. I figure I'd bring in Thaylog because what I did was I took the video game appearance, Goliath, and I took his wings. He comes with a set of relaxed wings. And I took those wings and repurposed them for Thaylog. So that's how he looks with those wings. I'll let you guys see up close real quick. I think of course, and when you look inside, that's, it's kind of a lighter bluish color. But when you look right here, I think it works. And then when you look on the back, you can kind of course, see the cell shading that represents the video game. But I feel like it's a good little placeholder. And I don't know if they're going to ever release relaxed wings for Thaylog. So until they do, I think that will suffice. But it's all about the guy right here. And overall, I think he's a good figure. like I said, I'm happy to have this whole group right here. This is really awesome to have all of them here in the collection, and I'm hoping everybody else will be able to get them sooner than later and have them on their shelf to display. It's definitely going to be a nice set piece having all of them, especially with the relaxed wings. Right now, you can't really do that if you put the flying wings on. But if you have them all with their relaxed wings, whereas with Lexington, you don't really have to worry about that with him. Thank goodness. It'll make for a pretty impressive display. So that's it. That's it for today's discussion on Neca Gargoyles Ultimates Lexington. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it. Of course, I love discussing action figures as well as collecting them. So, if you haven't, like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment. Tell me one of your favorite episodes. You guys, let me know what characters you would like to see NECA make from the Gargoyles animated series. I would like to know. I love when you guys interact with me, and it's just really cool to talk to everybody about their, favorite figures and accessories and things that they would like to see come down the pipeline, particularly for this series. So, make sure you subscribe, become a member of the Ape Nation, and make sure you also stay in the know of the newest uploaded videos to the channel. Hit that bell notification, and I hope everyone has a good rest of the week, and I will be giving you guys another video soon. I can't tell you what toy line, what character, but just stay posted, and you will see, you will find out. And until the next session, I wish you all love, peace, and plasticness.